Okay, so let's follow up where we were before. Um, Exercise 2 you can do without me, but basically what you're going to do is simply copy and paste the restaurant to the closing tag, paste it in there 3 times, and so let me change some of the stuff. This is a 5-star place, but a 3-star price. And I think 2100 Jump Street is an appropriate place for this to be. Los Angeles, California. You can change whatever you want there. But basically you do this 3 times. Now the trick to all this, making this work, is going to be this tag right here. This is a tag that is unfortunately not in the instructions, so that's why I'm showing it to you like this. It doesn't really tell you how to do this stuff. But that's the missing piece of the puzzle. It does tell you how to copy and paste the XSLT into right here. So the important parts in all of this are the output method, and mainly it's specifying that you want HTML. It does have that in there. The template match is going to say grab everything. So whenever you say select, it's from the root, get the restaurants, then the restaurant, and then the restaurant name. And so if we look at that, let's go back to our XPath down here. You can see that gets us, this is restaurant 1, restaurant 2, and restaurant 3. We'll give this one a 1 and a 1. Alright, so now if we go to Firefox and reload, you see that when you're in Chicago, I recommend Little Cabin Inn, and then by location, what's happening here is that our XSLT has a for each loop, and in each of those it's going to select the restaurant, and then it's going to grab the name of that restaurant. It's going to put that into our first table row. So this is table row, our TD table cell 1. Then it grabs the location city. So if I look at this and I go to, well, actually it's easier here, location city. It's going to grab somewhere not safe in that case, or in another case it's going to grab Los Angeles, or in this case it's going to grab Chicago. So it grabs all of them, it loops through them, and then it places them in the city row, and then it does the exact same thing in the location state. So that's how we can use XSLT in order to loop through it. And so it's these select statements and these for each select that allow us to do that. And then we close out that tag till we want to stop doing it. So that's sort of like the power, I guess, of XML, is that it allows us to, using just HTML, so there's no server-side stuff needing to be done here. And this is in Ubuntu Chromium, which is the open source version of Chrome. That's what, it's the same thing as you've come to expect. But that's how it works inside of Ubuntu. So in both of them we can see that it clearly works, and that's sort of its power. We don't need Apache, we don't need MySQL. We can just use plain old text, and we have a schema and we have a way of doing programmatic things like running through loops or selecting only certain elements of it. The downside, I've said many times before, is that it's incredibly verbose. We have to do a lot of stuff for what to me is a pretty small amount of output. And as this keeps growing, this file is going to get larger and larger. It's going to take more time, and the larger the file is, the more time it takes to parse it and to run it. So this XML, let's see what else we got to do here. We did all that. Joyous. All right, the next thing it has is that we can sort what we're doing, which is another thing that we'll be looking at inside of MySQL. But instead of our transform, where we have our for each, so here's our before, and here's our after, and you see that Los Angeles came up first this time. So using the sorting functions, we are allowed to change how things are displayed, what order they're displayed in, which is another powerful thing that you need to do a lot when it comes to programming. and then it wants to add quality and price as an extra table. In order to do that, let's get inside of here and let's see how we do that. So restaurant, what are we looking for here? We have first menu. Actually, no, we don't. We have this inside of our restaurant. So this would actually be an attribute. So at quality rating, there it is. So when we do that, it starts popping them out. And when we click down here, we can see that our XPath expression is true. So we can copy this in here, go to our transform, and now it has TH. There's our quality, TD, XSL, value of, select equals, paste that in there. Make sure to properly close it. You need a self-closing tag in XSL. And then we need to redo the same thing with price rating. And that confirms to us that this is the valid XPath expression. So we go inside of here. And if I did not mess up anything, then what should happen is that when I refresh my browser, I get quality, but I did not put in a table heading for pricing. This needs to be a TH. So let's update that and refresh our browser. There it is. We have quality and price. And then if we go to Chromium, do the same thing, we reload it, and we got quality and price. You will not be sending me screenshots. Please do not ever do that to me. Blah, blah, blah. I will go over in a separate video how you turn these things into me. I have a very specific format, and I'll show you why I use that format. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. Next up is a research thing. Do not do research for me. And then we're going to be doing a project, which is building the Granville College website. This one you will not be doing this part of it because there's a better piece of software that comes on MySQL Workbench. It's called an ERB, and it allows you to see relational data between things, and it works much better than Visio does because it's actual real data. And so we'll be using that. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, this is going to suck. Alright, fine.